optimizing the bias. So are we restricting the evolution of superintelligence by trying to control what AI does?
The question is, do we need that evolution?
I mean, if we are not needing the evolution, are we trying to undermine the ability of AI?
Not undermine, we are trying to protect ourselves.
But can
if you give common sense, Darwin's law, who survives the strongest. So if you give the AI the ability to do more things than we can, what is going to happen? If you have a biased machine and you on top give them more abilities, then what can we do about it?
But do you think it is possible
I
for
don't
us to
think we are
prevent?
restricting. I think we are keeping a safety line over there. That equal restrict, it's not restricting. Restricting is a very big word. Because we are designing it, so there's no restriction. They're not beings, they're not being alive. So we need to keep a middle lane. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. It needs to be in a safety line. You get my point?
Can we do it for too long is what my question is, yeah.
That answering that question will be playing God here, and I don't do that business. So I don't know what to answer to that. What I can tell you is that we still have some years to go.
Okay.
Plus, if we reach those years, that's another question. Because we don't know what AI can do. We saw what happened with Facebook. So if Facebook, which is a social media company, can do that, imagine what robotics and weaponized robots can do.
Okay,
I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, in fact, just to add to that, if you are really interested,
Okay, you're talking.
so there's a book, AI, the Last Invention from Man, right? So that talks about all of this.
Any other queries? Yeah.
I have one.
Okay, where are you? Wait, there.
When we look at these specific areas which you said about artificial intelligence research, how important is securing those AI systems? Like as they build the intelligence through whatever facts they are able to see, how you're storing those things, how important it is to prevent them from hackers accessing those systems and literally turning them against you or the humanity?
See, on the 24th this month, I was in Lucknow. I came for another conference, but this time on cybersecurity, fully on cybersecurity, with different people from IPS to people from Europol and so on. So we were speaking about something similar, how important it is to secure it. So we have put these drones that you saw before, and as well as the Valkyrie and the Vision Box in Delhi Airport a month ago. Now, what happened that month ago? In Atlanta, the whole airport got hacked for 15 minutes. The whole airport. Now, you take this for granted, 15 minutes is nothing. You know how many flights land in Atlanta in 15 minutes? Land and take off. Now, the control tower is off, it's being hijacked. There is no communication between the aircraft and between the tower. What can happen with aircraft landing, taking off? Imagine there is fog. Forget about just survivors. There won't be anyone surviving that air crash. And all the airplanes will go crazy in there. So it's very, very important to secure that. And that's what I was working upon, is that it needs to be work upon the error and prevention and accuracy. Cybersecurity, as I said, InfoSec is extremely directly related to robotics and AI. It cannot work without each other. Because hackers right now are everywhere. So everyone is a hacker. And the most funny term which I found so far, mostly in Asia, is I'm an ethical hacker. Come on, ethical hacker. What is an ethical hacker? Oh, I'm a hacker, but I do good. If you hack, you're not doing good. Unless you work for the company, you're cross-checking the bugs that the company has in the website or in the system. But I've seen people from colleges of engineering in India, MIT and so on, telling me that I have hijacked the Air India website and I have found XYZ vulnerabilities. And like, who gave you authorization to check a government website? And then you tell me you're an ethical hacker. It's good you are curious and you want to check websites and you want to check in robotics and see how able are you to hack them. But if these people who are kids are willing and actually able to do this, imagine professional hackers. So that's a big problem we have to deal with. And security is the biggest challenge we have, and the most important part as well. There was a question over here. Someone raised a hand. Yeah. Okay. Can you hear him? Hello? Yeah? Can you hear him? Yeah? No?
you are putting more emphasis on security. AI itself is a different area of expertise. AI itself is a different area. You are talking about network, information, and computer security. AI itself, if we go on studying, it's a different area of expertise. I hope you are getting my point.
I get your point, but as this gentleman said, security
It doesn't affect AI is independent or not. Security affects every sector, even supermarkets.
Of course.
So that's what we are discussing here.
Yeah,
That AI is extremely related to security, that's why.
yeah.
You got my point?
Yeah. And turning AI into actually, I mean, it's a complete system itself. Requires a lot of hardware, interfacing, sensors, transducers, a lot of
Exactly.
electronic circuits. Just talking AI is a very simple thing theoretically. But
Yeah, of course it
what
is.
we want to do with that thing,
That's what I was explaining before, that it is very easy, it looks fancy to put these devices in the street, but many measures need to be taken care of. Thank you for your point. Yeah.
You mentioned about putting some safety lines on what extent we can have the artificial intelligence when it comes to, for aiding the police or security agencies, so as to say. But at the same time, you might have, there could be people on the wrong side of law who could have been, like we had with the nuclear thing or the chemical, biological or whatever, who could go ahead and they would not have any safety line. There'll
So
be a
we need to
disconnect.
have a watchdog over there. So I want to actually take care of this, but again, you cannot take care of everything. Otherwise, there wouldn't be terrorism in the world.
So my question was, is there any thought process at the level of Interpol wherein,
We
something
do
of the line-
have a database, and we do check different activities as well. So I mean, I would love to tell you many things about this, but I can't. So my point is that there is activity, there is illegal activity happening with AI, of course. These prototypes that you saw, robotics, the Iron Man suit that you saw, is nothing new. People have tried to do it. You can see it online, and illegal activities with it have happened. So people have actually designed a proper suit of that sort, automated and weaponized suit. Mostly terrorist organizations have tried to do so as well, and some have succeeded. So if there are control measurements that we take care of, yes, we do check these things out, and we take the arrests when required and the measures when required, but we are an intelligence agency. We cannot play God. We cannot do anything. That's the problem.
Is there an international protocol or system in place, an organized system in place wherein you regularly scan the atmosphere, so as to say, for this kind of artificial intelligence coming out of nowhere from the...
Yeah, there is a committee formed by Interpol, Europol, the United Nations Security Council, and the Asian Pol, the Asian police. So we do conduct this kind of meetings regularly, maybe once a month, twice a month, and we discuss this kind of terms and conditions and what is going on, the measurements, the advance, and not only from our side, but of course from the criminal side, and what is happening, what maybe the Singapore police caught someone with some new device which they develop at home, so they will update on this, so we calculate what kind of risk this can have in the future or in terrorist organizations, this kind of things we do discuss about. So yeah, there is a committee for this, there is a prevention measurement happening over there, but again, it's very complicated to check everything out in the world. There are more than 200 countries, so checking so many citizens, I hope everyone understands that we cannot do all the complete checking because it cannot happen. Even police at times are corrupt. So how can we prevent that? Very complex. So we are working on it, but again, we cannot fasten up much. Otherwise, our advancements will also go in public and very complex. Hope you understand my point. Yeah.
Going back to the premise of how we were discussing how technology can be intimidated to the masses, right?
Yeah.
So structurally, how would you, incorporate so that it becomes more comfortable with the citizens at the engagement level?
You mean making people
More comfortable with
interact?
technology.
Okay, comfortable with AI and
Right.
okay. You first need to introduce it in the common locations that they go normally. So maybe schools, colleges, company buildings, houses, of course, supermarkets. So Amazon has designed now in Europe a supermarket that you don't need to pay by cash. There is no what you call the cashier. There's no one over there. So there's a machine. The machine, you pass a barcode or some number that you have, it will deduct the money from your bank account straight. So this is making people slowly familiar with artificial intelligence and technology, but you need to make it a slow progress because, as you can see, many people are very aware about this field and very aware about technology and the future. Many are not. Many don't care about it as well. So you need to work out with all these people as well. Yeah. Yeah, no worry.
You mentioned about social media scans and all these. So I think anyone who was having a wrong intent would never be actually having any data on social media.
Do you think
or
so?
Even if they do have, they would not have it with any intentions there. So what is the purpose of scanning something which will not have anything?
Do you really think so that people with bad intentions won't actually expose it on social media? People have something. Let me tell you one sentence, okay? Ego is the anesthesia that deadens the pain of stupidity. Okay? I leave you with this sentence to answer your question. People have ego. So, if you're belonging to a terrorist organization, let's say many ISIS supporters, do you really think they won't expose it online? They feel proud about it. They don't feel scared, they feel proud. If I get caught, it's a reward. And they do expose. You don't see it because you might not be following them, but we do see it. How many of you did like, share, or comment in any post related to Donald Trump elections? Means Donald Trump when he won the elections. How many of you liked it, commented, or shared any post from CNN, BBC, Times of India, anything? Anything related to Donald Trump, that Donald Trump was there in the search engine? Come on, be honest with yourself. We all know that at some point you liked it, shared, or commented on it. Do you like Donald Trump? Do you like him? Do you like him? Okay. Now, this is a very basic level thing, all right? So we check if you like Donald Trump, you share, commented, or liked something positive or negative. If you did comment something negative on him, when you reach US immigration, you will be most likely to be stopped, depending on who you are and more checkups, of course. But many people have been stopped. That's how it works. That's what we check. Social media, what is your performance and your activity? So this free internet, and we are all free, the word free and the word, what is called, privacy, it's as abstract as the word abstract itself. Privacy and freedom does not exist. Now, if you have not realized this yet, in the 21st century, I don't know what are we doing here. This is how it works. No freedom, no privacy. Once you get adjusted to this thought, you will be able to work in and live in this world much easily. And it's a reality. It's sad, but it's a reality. It cannot be. Once we create a free internet, there won't be any privacy or freedom anymore. You think the NSA and many, I'm not going to mention government organizations, but many government and intelligence organizations have not been checking your activity online since years? Come on, the government of India wants you to link your Aadhaar card to your bank account. What are you really thinking about it? Your bank account, which is everything that sustains you in life. Let's be honest, this is money at the end. What do you have apart from money? They remove the money from you, what do you have? Yeah, you have yourself, my brain. Don't go into that field because we all know that without money we cannot survive. So that's how it works. Government of India has been controlling you since years as well. That's why there are too many useless identifications like Aadhaar card. What is the use of Aadhaar card if you have PAN card? Why do you go and fingerprint or certain people? Because you can keep them on track. That's it, simple. But how many of you have applied for a Schengen visa? A Schengen visa, European visa, that you can enter in 28 countries. You apply for a Schengen visa. Now, I suppose that either you went to the consulate or the embassy, or you went to BFS, or some related officers that do your paperwork, depending on your visa. But you went somewhere and you gave a lot of documents of yourself, from bank statements to your passport copy, your fingerprints, biometrics, and so on, right? Now, do you think that these companies have not checked your social media? Then that is very naive to think about. And now, you have given your fingerprints, you have given your bank account details, you have given where you work, what have you been doing, why are you going to Europe, where are you going to be? You've given them everything. What is freedom then? What is privacy? There's no privacy. All because you want to travel. That's it. You want to take an aircraft and go somewhere. You have to sacrifice privacy and freedom for traveling, for leisure, or for business. Are we all agreeing on this? Do you realize how it works? If you haven't before, of course. Any other question?
The banking and financial sectors, personal as well as corporate banking and financial sectors, as well as nuclear installations, nuclear power plants, and nuclear all information related to that. They are in, they face danger due to this security.
A lot, yeah.
So, what is your, what do you say about that?
Yeah, 2 months ago, there was a try of hijack with the North Korean nukes. Now, they didn't want to access the software side, they wanted to access the operative side. So they wanted to access the nukes itself. They tried to, but North Korean professionals detected the hijack and the hacking before it happened. But someone tried. Now, it's not only about the nukes going out, it's about the political consequences that will have. Because it's not any country. You take, for example, nukes from, I don't know, Macau, if it has nuclear power, which it does not, does anything happen? Okay, there is a nuclear bomb, fine, but who is going to go against Macau? There is not going to be such a big political conflict happening. There will be a humanizing conflict, but no political conflict. In case of North Korea, which has happened actually, imagine the political consequences. So sometimes the hackings which are happening in nuclear plants and power plants and even smart cities is not because they want to access the operative side, but they want to actually create a political conflict. It will change the redistribution of the world. And it's very simple. There are many, many organizations looking forward to this. We are looking very mildly at ISIS, Al-Qaeda, all these terrorist organizations. We think it's just bombing and that's it. Bombing is only the public image. What they have behind the scenes, they have experts, IT experts behind the scenes. And they're not anyone. They are PhDs, they are ex-professors from universities, Oxford, Cambridge, who are Muslims, and they thought that this is my duty. And we have records on this. So there are experts. So we are at risk. We all have to agree on this. And as you mentioned, the risk in nuclear plants especially, it is very high. That's why now nuclear plants are hiring more and more IT professionals to see what can they work on. Firewalls mostly, but still, there is no big measurement, because if you can create it, you can always break it. This is like WhatsApp is encrypted. WhatsApp messages encrypted. If you create a company, you think I'm going to give you the freedom to do anything with it, and I'm not going to check out what you do. So that is so stupid by itself. That's the main problem. That we think that privacy is there, and it's not. But we need to stop being so naive and be more aware, asking more questions, because it's not happening. Because, as I said, the government of India linking Aadhaar card and bank account. No one asked, they just implemented it. No one asked why should we stop this? Because once you begin, they will start harassing you. So the movement will stop. And this keeps happening all the time. I hope I answered your question. Anyway, yeah, there was one here.
Yeah, coming to the basics of AI. AI is something like a child, you can say. So it starts learning by what you feed to it.
Yeah.
So what is the information that you fed so that it will become, I mean, a biased AI? It has to be a totality of information.
It's not what we fed, we didn't instruct it. Yeah. The logarithm learned some parameters, basic parameters, but then we designed a machine learning, so it got to learn through the experience, so through physical exposure. So the problem with this is that, for example, if we put the machine, the bodyguard, in a place where there are 9 out of 10 people, criminals are black, the machine will identify the pattern of criminals is black. So it will keep this pattern. And this is a very basic example I've given you, but this happens in a more complex way. And it happens with percentages as well. So the machine recognizes this. And it looks very simple to correct this, but it's not. Because there are many measurements to take it off. Not everyone looks the same, not everyone is the same, and not everyone performs the same way. So the machine needs to measure many, many things, billions of things. Each individual is different. That's what we need to do.
Does it depend on the region? Like, for example, probably most of the information must be from the United States.
Yeah, the United States has a big criminal record, yeah.
Yes. So even regional, I think the bias would be transferred to the AI.
Exactly. All the database is transferred to it, and that's why the AI becomes biased. That's the main problem. Because now the AI will recognize long-beard turban terrorist.
Yes.
That's because the 9/11 and the New York Times give you the image of Bin Laden, and you recognize it that way. And the AI does so as well. The AI recognizes media as well, media, press, and social media. So it gets all the information. How we think is how the AI has to think. But again, we have to avoid bias. And that's what we want, which is very complicated. Yeah, there was someone raising the hand there. I don't know where the mic is, so just. There were two mics. Where's the other mic? It's over there.
I have a question
I cannot hear you properly. Just
I have a question, coming back, another follow-up question. Like AI or machine learning is something which automatically learns on itself, you live it. Then coming back, if you have like Google launched a chat box where it replies messages to a person who enters a message. And after some days, it started developing its own language where Google had to shut it down. So that is a scenario just for a chat box. Then applying such technology where there is a lot of heat, do you think we have to monitor, again humans have to monitor AI? So it is like a throwback situation.
I already mentioned the point, I believe, that there needs to be some supervision on the AI. You can leave it alone, but you need to check out what the activity is, at least initially. Once you have checked across years and across many searches and researches that this works this way alone and is fine, then you can try out. But still, I will always advise to keep an ethical watchdog behind, because otherwise, the AI, we don't know till what extreme can reach. I know this might sound limiting to the AI system, but what do you want? You want security on what you have designed, or you want the AI to take over the world? Because it can do so perfectly if you leave it so. I hope I answered your question.
Yes.
If you have any other question, you can ask, it's fine.
The United States has rejected the party for International Criminal Code. So these criminals can be booked they cannot be booked in United States criminals. They cannot be brought before ISIS, International Criminal Court. What is your stand on that? They are not party to it.
Why the US has not joined the
International Criminal Court.
They are rejected to send their soldier criminals.
Why do you think they have done so? Why do you think the US is not joining a court that can judge them criminally? Because the US, it's full of criminals by itself, in the political sphere even. There is no more to it. It's very simple. Very simple. And this not only applies to the US. I don't know if is there any BJP supporter today. I'm not trying to harm or to hurt your political feelings, but Modi was in the Interpol database as a criminal in 2002 and 2003. Once he became prime minister, that data got erased. So where did the data go? Who deleted the data? I'm not aware, nor do I want to look into it because of my job. But it's something to think about, that political power gives you a big influence in the security sector.
Excuse me? Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
Well, I
Just come to you
understand
now.
the fact that we'll have to let go our privacy in order to be protected in the given current scenario. But with the advent of the technology, 2016, 2017, what do you think? Will we be able to hit that sweet spot where we'll not have to let go our privacy and then be protected at the same time?
That's a tricky question, but I don't think it will be so soon. I hope it will be soon because we need privacy and real privacy. But again, don't forget that we are ruled by politicians. And we are ruled by politicians who most of them are for grade dropout ruling over PhDs. You get my point? I'm not talking about academic qualifications, but I'm talking about this.
Yes, yeah.
So if they don't know what they are designing, they don't know what they are approving, and they don't even know, they have no knowledge about what they are signing, conventions or privacy bills, how are we expecting us to have that right? If those who are up designing these measurements don't know well about the system itself or don't know why we need this, how are you expecting us to actually have that? You get my point? I hope I answered your question without being too controversial. Yeah, you have a question? Wait a minute, just give him the mic, please.
So my specific question is related to criteria for AI.
Yeah.
And if you look at Vision Box and HARD, they're mostly focused on visual analytics. And I have seen an instance in Vision Box where a British lady was stopped from moving ahead because she had Botox.
I know. Yeah, that's what I said, that there is mistakes happening.
So in terms of the thought process as a future direction, are you also looking at exploring psychological or micro-expressional
yeah, we have
aspects?
implemented that. not in Vision Box, but in Heart, is being implemented. And Heart not only looks at the vision aspects, but it also looks at the audible aspects, analyze your voice and voice recognition and so on. Psychology is everywhere. We are all humans here, we all deal with humans. Psychology has to be there. I am saying this because my main background is psychology. I can tell you how it works. Psychology has to be applied in order to analyze anything. Otherwise, it cannot be. So we are implementing psychology in Heart, but not in Vision Box. Vision Box because it's for mostly airports, transportation measurements, but Heart needs to have psychology. Otherwise, it's impossible to analyze accurately. You get my point? You have a question as well? Just give the mic to him, please.
So, it's not really a question. It's more of an irony, I thought. Your name is Raul.
Yeah.
And if you've seen the movie Dark Knight Rises, he's not a hero, right?
Wait, I didn't get it. Can you repeat again?
So he's the guy who's, I mean, I don't know if you've seen the movie Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, the Batman movie, right?
And the guy who's Raul is actually a villain.
Yeah, well, my name is R-A-U-L, no R-H-A-U-L, so
well,
it's a German name, so it's...
It's an irony that you are...
It could be, yeah.
Hi, Raul. Thanks for an excellent session. My question is, have you used